When Halo launched on the Xbox in 2001, it changed our perception of how good shooters could be on consoles. They were no longer inferior to their more responsive PC counterparts, and the series went on to spawn many successful sequels. Halo 5 is the first entry on the Xbox One, and the combat has never felt better, as it is quick, intuitive and exciting. However, Halo 5 unfortunately suffers in the story department, with a lackluster tale that we as Halo fans are not used to. Recently, the FPS genre has focused more and more on the multiplayer aspects of the game, yet Halo has always been the best at telling an engrossing story too. People have become very attached to the saga's hero, Master Chief, and couldn't wait to put on the Spartan armor once more. Unfortunately, you won't wear it for long, as you will play the majority of the game as the far less compelling Agent Locke. His mission is to hunt down Master Chief for abandoning his mission, and with the help of Fireteam Osiris, you have to bring him to justice. If there was a mystery as to what Master Chief's crimes may have been, the story would have been far more exciting, but you know exactly why Chief has made his decisions, and I found myself agreeing with him. This in turn makes Agent Locke's missions not only feel needless, but wrongful. You feel like the bad guy, and the rare moments when you play as Master Chief feel far more liberating. The campaign lacks standout moments. The events seem familiar to the point of repetitiveness, and when something happens, it is over too soon. One level includes you running vertically down a huge machine whilst fighting enemies, which felt fresh and intoxicating, but this section lasted no longer than a minute. The ending feels deflating too, with nothing being accomplished and your role in the adventure seems insignificant. On the whole narrative is better than most you'll find in a shooter, but by Halo standards, it left me underwhelmed. Thankfully, every other aspect makes up for this. Halo's combat has always been fun, with enemy AI that is unmatched in other games. Halo 5 has improved upon the already solid mechanics and added in new abilities too. The entire experience is faster than ever, and you can now fluidly shift between techniques. Dash out of the way of incoming fire, thrust yourself towards an enemy grunt, climb onto a structure, and then come crashing down from the air to leave a radius of destruction. These moments happen all the time and never lose their sense of satisfaction. The areas have been designed to allow you to harness these new abilities. The locales are larger and more vertical than seen in previous games. Reaching elevated podiums is easy, and you can either pick off enemies with a rifle or become the weapon yourself. The weapons feel more varied than before, and every single one feels effective. I found myself frequently picking up loose weapons which changed the way I approached scenarios and kept the experience feeling fresh. In Halo 5 you always have 3 companions assisting you. These can be human controlled via Xbox Live, or the computer will help you out. Unfortunately, your AI counterparts can be more of a hindrance than a benefit at times. They will support you on the battlefield, but, for Spartan soldiers, they are not too smart. They will attempt to heal you while standing in plain sight of the enemy, or sometimes they will stand next to you watching you die. As you have 3 allies, there are more enemies to counteract this, but you'll find yourself picking up the slack. You can direct your allies, but they will all run towards the same marker, which is especially frustrating in boss battles, because you need to flank the enemy to expose his weak points. If you have the chance to play the campaign with friends, you need to do it, as the whole experience improves and you become a force to be reckoned with. When you finish the campaign, multiplayer awaits, and this is the best scene yet in a Halo game. You'll see all the familiar modes such as Deathmatch and Capture the Flag return, and they are all equally fun to play. As the combat feels so good in Halo 5, so does the competitive multiplayer. Everyone starts with the same loadout, and weapons are to be found on the stages, so learning the maps is essential. You'll need to focus on the objectives too. If you focus on killing within Capture the Flag, you not only let your teammates down, but you'll gain less experience and ultimately lose the match. Halo 5 does a great job of making you feel important to the overall success or failure of the mission. Warzone is a huge battle which takes place on a gigantic map. There are 5 control points which your team needs to capture. However, this is not simply a bigger version of Arena. You will have other events taking place too. AI enemies will appear on the map and you'll need to take them out. Killing an AI boss will reward the team with a huge amount of points, which all contributes towards the overall win. When you play Warzone, you can contribute in a number of ways. You can take bases, defend yours, or eliminate legendary villains. In Warzone, you feel that your individual contribution matters. When the match begins, everyone starts at level 1 with an assault rifle and a pistol. As you perform in the fight, you will level up, which allows you to equip higher level weapons. You can use your rec cards which you accumulate here. They are one-time uses, but they can severely change the tide of the battle. You could equip a needler or a laser rifle, or for 1 life you could introduce a vehicle to the fray. The whole battle escalates at a steady rate, and by the end of the match, when everyone is at a higher level, you can bring in the toughest equipment such as tanks or wraiths. These battles can last for a long time and they are great fun. Everyone is rewarded with huge amounts of experience afterwards, and winning a long battle feels exhilarating and rewarding. Halo 5 is the reason to own an Xbox One this year. Running at a solid 60 frames per second, the whole game is fluid and at times it can be one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. Combat feels solid and multiplayer is fast paced, competitive and satisfying. Unfortunately, the story is a low point for the series. This is in part because of the high expectations established prior to the game's release, but also because the previous Halo entries have had engaging narratives. Do not let the disappointing story keep you away from Halo 5 though, as the online component is not to be missed. With the promise of more modes and maps for free, this is why you'll be playing Halo 5 in the months to come. I give Halo 5 9 out of 10.